is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you. Exalting the melody of freedom. These are the things that will bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness, and let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. Rise together.
Accountability starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shouting loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to a cloudy Tuesday. This is nasty out. Oh, God. Anyway, but it's sunshine here in the studio. Studio A, B, and C. Because today is... I'm sorry. Today is Deidre Viney Day. And I'm always excited. I know. I'm always excited about all the information. I mean, you know, with all the doom and gloom about people not having jobs, to hear that there are jobs and that we're given great tips on how people can not only find a job but keep a job is inspiring to me. So, want to welcome Deidre to the show, and we also have on the line Vincent Squire hailing from Camden County, New Jersey. Hey guys.
Good morning.
Is this a low energy day?
No, it's high energy.
Is it? I mean, because I'm a sunshine person, Deidre. And when the sun's not shining, like literally, it just zaps me. So I'm working on it. I got an IV with coffee going into my main vein.
Well, I go back and forth with coffee. I'm off of it now, so I got to work on my own internal energy. I go in months waves, and now I've been a couple months without coffee. So.
Oh man, how does that work out? Like, do you feel like you go through withdrawal?
I don't. No, it's strange. It's a flavor thing too. I like the way it tastes, and sometimes I don't like it. I just don't want to have it. It wasn't really for getting awake.
Mm-hmm.
I just make sure I try to get as much sleep as possible. That's been key for me. So
Got
I
it.
force myself to go to bed at the right time, so that's been helping.
What's a good bedtime?
Like between 10:30 and 11.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'll try that one day. I'll try that one day. What's your flavor?
You wake up without an alarm clock.
What is your favorite flavor coffee?
For me, it's caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel latte.
Yeah. I like hazelnut, but then when like fall comes, it's pumpkin season and apple cider season and eggnog season. And so I go into those flavors. But yesterday I had to go to a wake, and I had to try to get myself prepared, and so I stopped at 7-Eleven, and they didn't have any pumpkin creamer. I know. And so and I couldn't go to the hazelnut because I'm not ready for that yet. Like I've already put that away for the season, right? So that doesn't come back out for me until springtime, the hazelnut. So I'm looking in the little bin, and they had a Hershey chocolate caramel. And I went, is this where hot chocolate meets coffee? So I tried it, and that is my new flavor now. It was so, and somebody said, Eric, it's just like a mocha latte. I'm like, I don't know, but it got me going. So that is my new flavor, competing with my pumpkin spice.
I do during the fall when pumpkin spice is out, coffee, I'll do that and I'll mix it with a French vanilla cream.
Oh, that's interesting.
Has a whole new dynamic.
That's very interesting. All right, so I got some things to work on. Now I got focus. So good morning, Deidre.
Good morning.
So what's up?
Interestingly enough, we've been talking for 5-6 months now.
Uh-huh.
Right? And one of the things I realized as I kind of went through my notes of what kind of topics we had, one of the topics I realized we haven't talked about is working with a staffing agency.
Wait a minute, is this is this the classic shoemaker's children's story, right?
the classic mechanic's car.
I said to myself, all this time we've been talking about, and there was valuable things, how to get your resume together, interview. But I've taken a step back because in my world, maybe that's what it is, a forest from the trees. You don't realize that some folks maybe don't know how to best adequately engage with a staffing firm. And I'm just one of many, many thousands that are out there to make it work to your benefit, because we can be a valuable tool in your toolbox to find a job. The number one thing is it's free. The clients pay us to identify talent. They don't get paid by the person. Some people may not know that, believe it or not, because we still get calls to this day asking us about that. But
really?
when you work with an agency, they are contracted by the client, and the client in this particular instance are company clients, to find people based on the criteria that the client is looking for. So we put ourselves in the middle where we have to identify. At Express, we call them associates, temp labor, employees, whatever you call it, but we like to call it associates. And then we're in the middle, and then the client who pays us, to find the talent. That's why sometimes if you're engaged with an agency, you may think that they aren't technically working for you, but not for you. That makes sense? Because at the end of the day, they have to make the best placement because the client company is paying them.
Right.
So I just have a couple of tips on how to engage with a staffing firm like Express or any other ones that are out there. And just to kind of help folks understand how it works, if you've worked with them before, and how to best get your face in front of them on a consistent basis. So the one thing that I like, if you are out there looking for a job, is if you're looking to talk to a staffing agency, you want to find one that might be in the industry that you want to work in, or industry that you worked in the past. Let's say you were in, fashion, and that's your world. Well, you need to find an agency that does that particular industry, because I don't do fashion. And so you call me up and say, I want a job in the fashion industry doing X, Y, and Z. Express might not be the best place for you, but there are other agencies out there that specifically place in the fashion industry. So you want to try to find someone that's in that particular industry that you're looking to work in. And then the function, what is your job function? Let's say you were a maintenance mechanic fixing things at warehouses. You may not want to go to one of the agencies that just places administrative people. You want to find an agency that has placed people in those particular jobs, because it's all about spending your time wisely. Not just spending your time. It has to be wisely. If you're going to say, I'm going to register with, all these agencies, but, half of them don't even place within your particular job function, and now, you're not being efficient in your time and effort. So you want to be efficient. It's all about efficiency.
Plus, agencies that are used to working in a particular industry already have a lot of contacts and positions ready as soon as you walk in the door.
Exactly. So they're not starting from zero to try to place you in that particular industry. They already have clients and relationships and contacts. So you want to definitely try to find someone that is in your function. And a lot of times the easiest way, I would say, to identify that is to go to their website. Look at some of the jobs that are posted. Do they sound like jobs that you would be interested in, or sound like jobs that you've done in the past and you want to do in the future? If not, then maybe that's not the right staffing firm for you to align yourself with. And there's nothing wrong with that. They just don't have those kind of jobs. There's lots of competitors of Express that are out there, and then we all might have different disciplines that we work within. So just make sure you align yourself with an agency that has that sort of, job that you want to do and have done in the past. And another one is location. So if you are located in Manhattan, for example, and you want to find your jobs in Manhattan, maybe you wouldn't align yourself with a staffing firm that's in Manhattan. If you're in South Jersey, find one that's in South Jersey. Don't try to find one in North Jersey for a South Jersey job. That's not going to work. We do. There are staffing firms that place nationwide, and maybe again, depends on the function of what you're looking for. If you're at a professional level, a lot of those staffing firms they might play professional recruiting companies. They might place nationwide. You go to their website, you might see they've got positions in DC and and California.
But they have nationwide staffing firms. They have local and state hubs.
Yes. Yeah. So those are three biggies that you want to look at, because you're going to put yourself, we always talked about when you're applying for jobs, you want to try, quality over quantity. And so same with a staffing firm, you definitely don't want to align yourself with one. You want to have a couple of them in your toolbox, but you want to check those couple of things out first. And the thing with a staffing firm is we're doing the search for you. So it's important to be upfront and honest about what you want to do based on what you've done in the past. If you want to try to completely change careers, it might be challenging through a staffing firm because again, remember, the client is paying us to find people, and so they may not be willing to take that risk. A particular company directly might be willing to take that risk, but a staffing firm might say, "Oh no," because they're going to look at their talent pool. When a client calls and says, "I need an accountant to work that has experience, AR and AP and whatnot," and you may have just gone to school for that and want to switch careers, it might be a bit challenging working directly for a staffing firm. I'm just being honest. It's not impossible, but again, we're kind of aligning with a lot of the company, associates that we're dealing with, and we're going to bubble to the surface is going to be the best people that have what our client is looking for.
Sure.
Yeah. So you want to have a variety of companies of staffing agencies, because you want to check with them about what kind of companies that they like to work with. Looking, back to that thing about looking on the website. What's on the website? What kind of jobs that interest you? Another thing about a staffing firm is they give you feedback. So when I look at someone's resume, if I have a question or I have a critique or I want to change something because I want it to look in the best light, a good staffing firm can do that for you. I've even given people feedback at interviews, what they could have done better. So that's another thing with a staffing firm, because again, they want you to be in the best light because you're representing their company to their clients. And so if you look good, they look good.
Mm-hmm. So
you have to keep that in mind, that feedback they're giving you is a reason for that. They're saying fix your resume and do this, and this to it. You might want to take heed that it's a reason that they're telling you that, because they want you to look in the best light so they can get you placed. Another thing too is temporary jobs. I know people are always concerned that, well, you're going through a staffing agency, all their jobs are going to be temp, and that's not the best that I want to consider. However, keep in mind that you can continue to keep those skills up to date. As a temp job, keep an open mind, because if you're out of work now, a temp opportunity might be a way to keep your skills fresh and try out a new client, a company that they send you to, and you never know where that might lead. You never know if you can go in there and make a great impression, and now the company says, "Oh, this person, Eric, came in and really did a great job for us. Let's see where else we can find." I know he was only filling in for someone that was out on medical leave for 3 months, but now you're in and you've made a good impression. They might consider you. Obviously, there's never a guarantee for that, but it does twofold. It gets you things on your resume, and it allows you to make a good impression of the client, and you just never know what might happen for that. We also have what's called temp to hire jobs. So that's where the client is telling us, the company, that we have a slot. It's a full-time slot. We want to try someone out first for a little bit, kind of see how they do until they give you kind of a time frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to impress a client, a company, as you're working every single day, as you would be. Like it's a normal job. You're collecting a regular paycheck. Nothing's really changed except that the company is not paying you directly. The staffing agency is. So that's the only difference. But you're still going to work there. You're still making a great impression. And the client and the staffing agency might check in just to kind of check and see how you're doing and how the company is looking at your performance over that period of time that you're temp to hire. And then another one, which is we have quite a few of these I can talk about today too, is permanent hires. You know, believe it or not, people come to staffing agencies, clients that is, to identify permanent hires. And so that being where you would actually be on the client's payroll right from the beginning. They just want to identify, and they don't have the time. You know, time is money to companies as well. So they don't have the time to go and identify some talent, or they just have had a hard time finding the right people. Right. And so now this particular staffing agency may call you up and say, okay, I have an opportunity as a full-time position, a permanent role at a client, at a company. Would you be considered, you know, you can be considered for that. So it's another tool in your tool belt to be, as you're looking at regular full-time employment. You know, staffing agencies have full-time employment too. They have temp employment and they have temp to hire employment. So it's important that you sort of understand, utilizing them to the best of your ability so that you can make a good impression. You can keep yourself out there. And like I said, they can give you feedback so that, you know, when you are going out, even for interviews, I give interview tips all the time to people that are going out for interviews. And so think of it like a partner with you as you're going out looking for a job. So you're not out there kind of wavering in the wind by yourself. The staffing agency is kind of helping you along the way, give you tips, maybe even helping you improve your resume to make it look the best. So it's a great way to kind of keep yourself out there and keep your skills fresh in a variety of ways.
I think that they're incredible resources, staffing agencies, and I really don't think that people utilize them enough. You know,
yeah,
for all the reasons you talked about.
One of the things that kind of bothers me a little bit, Eric, I think last week we talked about with interviewing, questions and things of that nature. One of the things that bothers me when people come to a staffing agency is the impression that it's not a real interview. It's this impression that, oh, we're just here and they're going to find me a job. You know, I think when you come to a staffing agency, you need to treat it as a real interview, as you would any interview. Because if you have a bad impression for us, that means you may not represent yourself to our client. That's the way we might see it.
Right.
As much as we want to place the person out, if you come out and you don't treat it as seriously as we are treating our interviews, you know, showing up on time, even virtually showing up on time to an interview, those are still key things to do with an agency. Even following up. You know, send them a quick email thank you for the interview, you know, because you are one of hundreds, if not thousands, in their database now. And you want to still, you know, be at the top of the list when they have a different opportunity. Like, you know, one thing about an agency, maybe a little bit differently than a company, but probably it's still the same, is we get jobs all the time, every single day. And so a job we have today, we might have just gotten that job, we'll get a different one tomorrow. And we might consider you for this job, or we consider you for the one we get tomorrow. So if you're keeping yourself, if you've impressed us enough at the interview and your references and all these things, you're treating it seriously as we're treating it, there's no reason why we can't get you a job.
You know, DJ, when I worked in an agency, I was blown away by the sheer unmitigated gall of someone looking for a job, coming into us for an interview for a position, and treating us like we were McDonald's employees. Just take my order and give me my job. I mean, no respect, no professionalism, nothing. And you want me to send you to another company?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We talked about last week with ghosting people, not even calling to say you can't come for an interview, or you took the job and now you don't want to go back and you just disappear. Those things happen through staffing agencies, and I think that they feel that, I don't know if people don't take it seriously. They don't feel like it's real. I don't understand that whole stigma behind it, because it's still a job, and any job should be treated with the same level of respect, no matter who sent you there. To that point where you're saying, yeah, it does feel like a McDonald's order. Oh, just send me out. Oh, I don't want that one. You know, it has to be open dialogue. So let's say an agency does get you a job, and they give you the details of the job, and it doesn't sound like something you want. Just say, you know what, it doesn't sound like that's not up my wheel space. You know, I'm not looking for that. Be honest. and say, that's not something I'm looking for. Remember when we interviewed, this is what I said I wanted. And just reiterate what some of your goals are for what kind of job that you want to do. But if on the flip side, if they give you the job and it sounds like everything you talked about and you take it, then the expectation is that you're going to take that job. They've done their search.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it
My
is?
favorite-
I think that part of it may be when you're at the executive level, certainly staffing agencies, those folks looking for jobs understand the value and importance of an agency and all the resources it has to offer. When you go down that ladder, I think because folks are not making an investment, right? So it doesn't cost them anything. I don't think that they have the same value, right? They have a disconnect for it, and so they just think that you're a service for them, right? And a throwaway service for them. Take it or leave it, and it is unfortunate because of the value that I think that you guys offer. So, it's it's their loss, certainly. But I wish that they understood the real value.
Here's my other pet peeve, Deidre. When you get someone a position and you talk to them about, accepting, the offer that the corporation is giving them, they're like, well, look, can you get me more money?
Yeah. Understanding that behind the scenes, we've already negotiated the pay rate and the bill rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, no, we just accepted the first offer. We didn't negotiate the best possible pay rate for you, right?
Right. And I think those are conversations that it needs to be honest, because if you feel the role is less than what you are wanting, then just turn it down. But to your point, it's not that easy to be like, okay, let me just go ask them for $3 more an hour, $10 more an hour. It may not be that simple.
No, I had to express to someone, listen, you can turn it down, but I did send 2 other people to that same position, and they're making them an offer as well. Exactly.
So I don't think that people, and rightly so, you don't understand it till you're in the seat. Some of my staff, when they work here, you don't really get it until you're in the hot seat. That's what we call it, right? You fill orders and talk to people and dialogue with clients, because it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see.
Right.
When they just see the job, but there's a lot that goes involved with us negotiating on your behalf, trying to get the job first of all, negotiating on your behalf. Never imagine a staffing firm. Our job is to find jobs all the time, so that's for job.
Right.
To identify companies that want to find people, that we want to find people for them. So it's 24/7 job hunt. It's kind of what it's like. And so, if you could put yourself in the best possible light and professionalism with a staffing firm, and take their calls when they call you, call them back when they call you. I think that if you've got you did a couple things I talked about at the beginning. You made sure they were in the right industry. They had the type of function of jobs that you are looking to fill, and they're in the right location. There's no reason they can't find you the right type of job unless there's some other circumstances that you're not being honest with. Maybe your pay is too high, or maybe you don't have enough experience based on what that particular client is looking for at that time. But I think that the good thing is with a staffing firm is you're aligning yourself. Some of us have 50, 70, 80, 100 clients, or more.
Right.
And so you're talking to a staffing firm, it's almost like we're representing 100 companies at one time. And so that's sort of helping you to diversify your job search to find that next position. And again, it's just one tool. You're talking to, you might have aligned yourself with 4 staffing firms based on the criteria I just laid out. Now you've got 400 companies that you're in front of potentially through those agencies on top of what you're doing by yourself. So
not only does it help diversify your job search, but when a staffing firm has over 100 clients, it speeds up your time, your lag time of being unemployed.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you're open, I mean, some folks aren't open to temp positions, and I get it. If you want to stick around and wait for the other opportunities, that's a call you have to make. But if you are open to keeping your resume full and taking kind of the jobs that come up by the companies you've aligned yourself with, then there is no reason that you should not be working.
Right.
Well, my aunt used to say, I'd rather have 50% of something than 100% of nothing.
No doubt.
Unemployed, I've got 100%.
That's right. I got that on lock. It's funny.
So that was the main thing. I hadn't talked about myself and what we do. I know I didn't myself per se, but
Let's interview Deidre now.
But just making sure that they understand that we're still staffing firms are still a professional organization, and we deserve to be treated the same level of professionalism you would a company. I know that one of the bad raps that we get from a staffing firm is when we get intel is that we don't get back to people. You might interview and then poof, you don't hear from them again until they have something for you. And I get that, and that's a valid concern. But behind the scenes, I can assure you that when we have something that fits you, it's probably the reason that we would call. Otherwise, there's no reason to call just to kind of chat. We want to make sure that we're working behind the scenes to get you work. What we can do a better job of is when the client doesn't get back to us. Let's say you sent a resume, like I just sent a resume to someone yesterday, and she just emailed me and said, well, what's going on with this particular role? And fair enough,
Mm-hmm.
and I because I hadn't heard from the client yet. And so I've kind of moved on to my other, 60 job orders.
Right, sure.
Okay, so you do want to keep the communication, but you don't want to overburden the staffing firm with your constant barrage of phone calls.
Correct. Because they will let you know, when they have opportunities that fit you. But at least for Express, we always tell folks to check in with us once a week. Because,
Right.
as we are interviewing new talent, kind of the older talent, if you will, kind of goes down, by date of when we interviewed you. So we hadn't placed you out, and we sent your resume, and we didn't hear anything from the clients, so we're working on finding some other opportunities. Check in with them once a week and just say, hey, I'm just want to let you guys know that I'm out in the market and I'm still looking for work. And that's a fair thing to do.
Right.
The process for that, you can actually do it online now to mark yourself available, or you can just call the particular office. But that's a way to kind of keep your name at the top of the list, because you'd be surprised. Sometimes we might say, oh my gosh, I forgot I interviewed that person last month. Let me get her working. Oh, she just called and available. Wonderful. This opportunity just came in that we can place her for. So if you have that good conversation and that good relationship and you're keeping it professional at all times, there is no reason why a firm will not want to represent you, because that's kind of what we're doing, representing you to a company.
Okay.
That's all good stuff.
That's my tip. That's my tip for today. Is call me. No.
Shall we recap? Because I like to do this to keep my memory fresh. Okay, so staffing agencies are contracted by clients or corporations to find them talent. And when you go to a staffing agency, you treat it like a real interview. Now, what you want to do is find an agency that specializes in the industry that you're looking to be employed. And one of the best ways to do that and research that is to look at the agency's website, check the jobs that they have listed and the companies that they are hiring for. One of the important things is location of the agency. Local agencies have a great deal of local contacts with a lot of corporations versus a national agency, which is spread everywhere. And talking with your recruiter, first, be honest of your goals. For things like if you're changing careers or if you're looking to make a lateral move. And after the interview process, listen to the feedback. If you need to update your resume, if you need to, change your shirt and tie in your Zoom interview, listen to the feedback. Don't take it personal, because they're only working to put your best foot forward for your interview with the corporation. Talk about temporary, which the advantage is that it keeps your skill sets up. It also shows your initiative, and then you get to impress the employer for your permanent position, because it's better that you are actually seeking and being employed than doing nothing and looking. And you also look at temp to hire, which can lead to a hiring position. It's kind of like a trial run. They're feeling you out, seeing how you do on a temporary basis, and then giving you the nod to move forward, or they hire another temp. So the other is permanent hire, where companies can hire on the spot for certain positions. And remember, when going to a staffing firm, you don't own the staffing firm. Keep your privilege, Uberage, and gall in your briefcase. They do have other clients, so do not constantly bombard them with questions about did you get the job, but do check in once a week, and most of all, don't ghost them. How'd I do?
You did pretty good. I think that I don't know if you mentioned about just being honest. That was one of the things. Just being honest about yes and no. That's what you said about ghosting them. Being honest about a job. If you don't like it, if you don't want it, don't take it. You won't hurt our feelings. I feel like that. I'd rather you just say you wouldn't take it. This is not for you. The pay, the location, whatever it is, than just disappearing and not taking it. And then now I could have given that opportunity to someone else.
Right.
So, Deidre, what's the big job posting this week?
So I just got literally this morning a customer service rep position in Kearney. It's working in a warehouse, but it's the office of the warehouse. So you're going to be kind of handling their clients as well as going out and checking inventory in the warehouse. That one just came up. I'm still looking for a supervisor in Kearney. Someone has experience supervising teams of folks. I think I might have mentioned this last week. The facility maintenance manager that I'm still looking for. I've got a couple resumes out, but I'm still looking for the right candidate for that. That is a direct hire position. I'm looking for a medical receptionist. That's also a direct hire. I'm working in the doctor's office.
Bring your PPE and mask.
Yes, PPE and your mask. Yep. I'm always looking for forklift drivers. I know I mention it every week. That just seems to be. We just got another one yesterday. It's an ongoing skill that is needed. I don't know. I lost track. A lot of forklift openings right now.
And what's hot on the entry level ex-offender friendly?
So we have offender-friendly positions. Most of our warehouse roles are offender-friendly. So reach out to us. They're all listed on our website, expresspros.com. Our Jersey City location handles Jersey City, Kearney, Newark, Bayonne, and North Bergen areas. And if you work within those areas, we've got work for you.
Here's a tip for all of our viewers. If you have people who are incarcerated and soon to be getting out, one of the things that prisons do a lot is get them licensed in forklift operators. And teachers got a lot of positions.
Well, the one I will say though that to that point, sometimes it is you need to show experience though. To be honest, so if you have a license, that's one thing. You have to show that you've demonstrated it, because a couple of the forklift position we have, they're interviewing them because it's a heavy piece of equipment. So they're interviewing them and they're testing them on the forklift to make sure they know what they're doing before they start the job, maybe an hour or two before the job starts or the day before.
The prison process is that they have 3 months of actually training on the different forklifts before they take the written exam for their license.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, good to know.
Oh, I got first-hand experience. No, I got a license.
So, we are very busy. I'm sure some of my competitors are very busy. Again, align yourself with a firm that has the type of jobs that you want to do, and there is no reason to be out of work if you've got the skill set that they're looking for.
Okay. Now, we always post your information, but please, for the first timers, tell them where they can find you and find a position.
So it's expresspros.com/Jersey City. That goes to our microsite for our Jersey City, New Jersey location. As I mentioned, the jobs are in Jersey City, Newark, Kearney, Bayonne, North Bergen. If you're looking at Hoboken, small areas in Hoboken. So if you're looking to work in any of those neighboring towns, we should be able to get you working. And they should all be listed on our website. We do have an app, the Express Jobs app. You can download our Jobs app. You can actually look. The good thing about Express, we have 16 offices in New Jersey, so you can go and check out if you don't live up in this area, you live down in South Jersey, we got an office down there that can support you. You go to our app, put in your address, and they will find the jobs that are nearest to you.
Great. And as always, if you are listening to the show and you refer someone and they get a position, please do us a favor. Put a comment in on the Facebook feed. We'd like to check on the progress to see how the impact that we're making in the community.
Absolutely.
And we're on Facebook too, so we try to keep our jobs on Facebook. You can like us on our Facebook page, Express Pros Jersey City. And you can even apply there. We have lots of different ways to get a hold of us. And then lastly, you can always just call our office number. We have a team of people here to talk with you and take your information over the phone, which is 201-333-8400. And they can talk with you about some of the job opportunities. But the easiest is probably to use the computer, and our app is probably the easiest.
There you go.
Now, well, Deidre Viney, once again, you're always the best part of our week.
Dropping jewels, man. Dropping jewels. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was...
Wake up, Eric.
No. You know, Vincent, I mean, you listen to the information, right? People always say that they don't have access. They don't have access to stuff. And, you know, when Deidre said, you know, she's been on for months now, you know, just giving information, free, you know, just taking time every Tuesday to prepare to give a presentation that helps other people. Folks start running out of excuses, right? Or at least we give them, we present. Yeah.
Give advantages. You know, you're getting inside information on how to be employed, inside information on how to get some other people employed.
Yeah.
And especially right now because we're running into the break season for colleges.
Yeah. So, come on, guys. Share the information. And that's the other thing, right? If you got a job, that's great. But share it. For somebody who doesn't have a job. That share button on your social media page is a very powerful tool, right? It puts this information in front of all of the friends that you've taken all of these years to curate, right? So, please hit the share button, so that those folks have an opportunity to hear what Deidre Viney had to say.
Yes, definitely.
So, there's a... you don't know. There's a restaurant called Cuban Pete's in Montclair.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the owner, and it just kind of pains me. But for me to be consistent with what I do and what I say, Daniel deserved to have his business locked down, Cuban Pete's is a very, very popular place to go and eat, Vincent. He has great food, authentic Cuban food. And he's a wonderful guy. He has indoor, outdoor seating, and it's usually always packed. And so, but because of the current climate, all restaurants were told to limit the capacity, right? And Daniel didn't do it and was cited 3 times, right? Was fined and still just showed absolute disregard for, and I'll say this, for human life, right? And so finally, they padlocked his business. And I saw when I posted it, somebody said, oh, well, he should move his business out of Essex County. And I didn't even go and comment. But so move his business out of Essex County. Why? So that he could contribute to the spread of COVID-19 in some other county? Do you understand what I'm saying? So
He's a super spreader. I mean, really.
Yeah, and now what he said was he was behind in paying his vendors because of the reduced clientele that he could have in his, but he's not suffering any more than a lot of it, and thank God he's still functioning, right? I mean, thousands and thousands of businesses have folded. And people were still coming out to support him, but he wasn't really supporting them. Right?
He was being more greedy than anything else.
Yeah. So, he was being very reckless in his behavior, right? Self-serving in his behavior. And somebody else came in the thread and said, well, this is what people wanted. Yeah. So, but here's the deal, right? Those people wanted to be able to go and eat, but I don't want to be infected by them, right? And so when does what I want and what so many tens of thousands of sensible New Jerseyans want, when does that become priority? See, we've got it backwards, right? So we should give Daniel what he wants. We should give those idiots who want to go and crowd the place what they want. We should do all of that. And then the other people who fall subject to the carelessness and the cruelty of those folks, we shouldn't care about what they want.
You see, what people tend to do is let their wants outrule common sense, decency, and basic logic. Like, when my daughter was 4, my wife would pack her lunch. She had her little Barbie Dora lunchbox, and my wife would take the time to make her lunch every morning, pack it in her box, and send it in. Well, my daughter wanted to be like, the other kids in the school who parents gave them those Lunchables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just go to the supermarket, get the little Lunchables, stick it in the kid's bag, and they're gone. My daughter wanted a Lunchable. She did not understand that her wants contribute to her bad health, because my wife researched it and found out that Lunchables contains a high amount of sugar and salt, which for a kid is toxic, especially all that sugar in school. Well, so, and the same thing, people, we're dealing with this pandemic, and people are always focusing on their wants. They're not focusing on what's good for the world, for the people around them. People are focusing on, well, I got to make these payments. They're not focusing on the simple fact that you're making payments, but you're putting other people's lives at risk. People are sitting up here going, yeah, I got my rent, and I get it. This is desperate times, and a lot of people are at their wits' end, and I understand that. But you also have to understand that everything that we do, especially now, has consequences.
Well, here's the question, and I apologize for calling him Daniel, as Dominic is his name, but here's what I would ask. So, I mean, does Dominic have a fund set up for you in the event that in his super spreader, dinners that he serves, if you contracted COVID, or would that just be on you? You understand what I'm saying? So does Daniel, so this idea, which is what you're saying, Vincent, is that, it's all about an individual, right? It's all about him looking, because that's what he said. And, I'm going to see if I could find in the article. So let me go here. It says October 4th. This is October 4th. Authorities allege the restaurant went over the 25% capacity. This is October 4th. Capacity limit on outdoor dining, inspiring multiple complaints. And then if you go into the article, you could read that. Diane posted in a thread. Thank you, Diane. It says on August 23rd, acting on a noise complaint, police said they found about 15 people eating at several tables inside the restaurant, which violated the ban on indoor dining at the time. And you could read more about that. It says on August 7th, police visited the restaurant after getting complaints. They allegedly found occupied outdoor tables without proper social distancing, as well as people eating indoors. And yeah, just go read the article because it just, just complete disregard for the law, right? Like disregard for human life, disregard for safety, thumbing his nose up. And again, and I gotta say this, whenever I went to Cuban Pete's, he treated me like royalty. Hugged me on the sidewalk, welcomed me in. A lot of times when there were crowds of people with 30, 45-minute waits, he would go seat me at my table, personally and send over a picture of sangria. And I appreciate all of that, but we have to be able to, right, Vincent? We have to be able to even look at our friends who are doing the wrong thing, and we have to be able to call them out on it, right? I will never allow.
You wouldn't be a real friend if you didn't.
Yeah, I won't allow anybody to drag down my standards, right? To drag down my values, my principles. My compass is set. And it's set in a direction to protect the community, and in particular, Black Americans, right? So understanding all that I know about what's at jeopardy for the Black community as this virus continues to spread, I can't, with good conscience, look at Dominic and say, job well done. I say, you know what? They should lock you up. And then maybe you'll learn then, right? Because money is not such a big issue. I mean, because he sits and talks openly about this. So this is not me just saying it, but people. He not only owns that building, but he owns all of the buildings, or most of the buildings on that block going up Bloomfield Avenue, right? And so you could deal with this, man, to save some lives.
Eric, the one thing is that, he sounds like a great guy, and he's been doing a lot of good things for the community, except for he gave in to this one temptation. And then you also have to look at your position. Eric, you are an influencer. You have a following of people who listen to your word, and based on what you say, they give it a lot more merit than they would give the normal person. And when you are and when you are endorsing and talking about someone with so much praise, people go there, and you could potentially be leading them into harm's way just by his inaction or action.
So Diane says in the thread that after this segment, I'll no longer get my seat at the table and an untainted pitcher of sangria. Laugh out loud. Well, you know what? That would be a shame, right? It would be a shame that I couldn't sit down with Dominic and say, "Hey, man, listen, we were on different sides of this thing. I hope you understand." And that we can't break bread and and get back to to rebuilding a friendship.
Well, if Dominic is half the man that you boast about him being, I think that he can understand the consequences of his actions and move forward to doing something more positive, giving another opportunity. I think that he may have just got caught up. But if it means that you don't get your picture of sangria, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am sorry.
Yeah.
But it has to be. It has to have the same standard of quality and care of human life that you're serving as we would hold anybody to. We sit up here and we deal with a great deal of empowered or arrogant, entitled people who are doing a lot of things during this virus and causing people to lose their lives and put them in harm's way,
Yeah.
like campaigning without a mask and having super spreader events without a mask, and it has to stop. And you know that's one of the things that I'm going to not get on the soapbox. That's one of the things that we look for in leadership. If leadership is not setting the pace and the tone, then a lot of people follow that, and that's the ruin of our civilization. That's the cause of more deaths.
Yeah. Well, so I'm glad they padlocked them out. And to Diane's point, yeah, the folks who went in there to eat, they're selfish as all get out as well. I mean, I think that they should be so, and we got to do this, right? Like if you had, remember back when they had the speakeasies, right? If you got caught in there, not only did they shut down the place, but they had a paddy wagon, right? That took all of the people who were in there, who were engaged in that illegal behavior. They took them down to, and locked them up, gave them fines and such. That wouldn't be.
Keep in mind that draconian technique and fear is part of the Trump's version against Biden, saying that he wants to lock down the country. So basically lock everybody down and put them in paddy wagons for anything like that. I think we should not get to that level.
No. I think that, well, I disagree. I think that, no. I think that if you are engaging, see, because you can't call Dominic a super spreader for opening his restaurant without calling those who go into the restaurant contributors to super spreaders, right? So they are co-conspirators, right, in this act of creating a super spreader. So how do you punish? Right. So how do you punish one without punishing the others? See, and so if you say, well, it's just a matter of me wanting to play politics and not have a group of people disengage with me because of their politics around this and the narrative that's being driven around this, I think that's disingenuous, right? So either we look and say, you know what, Dominic opened his place, but not only did he open his place, but all of these people knowingly went there and contributed in this reckless effort to continue the spread of the coronavirus. And so not only should Dominic be... I'm sorry?
True. I agree. And that once again goes into leadership. Trump does what he wants.
No. Why is this about Trump? This has nothing to do with Trump. This has to do with Bloomfield Avenue.
It's just an example, Eric.
I'm not gonna let you turn Dominic and Cuban Pete's to Trump.
Let's take it off of Trump then.
Thank you.
And then leadership. People do get away with what they can. And one of the biggest reasons they could get away with the careless act of coming to this place, not being distant, not wearing masks, is because he allows it.
Who allows it?
Would that not be the owner? Isn't that the owner's responsibility?
No.
Look, wear your mask. Look,
No.
No. Would you prefer takeout instead?
No. So just because he opens up his restaurant, right, does not absolve the people who go there from being idiots and being contributors to the spread of coronavirus. So yes, right. So I'm not gonna say that these are mindless people. They want to go, right? They want to go. They want to ergo. They want to spread the virus. They don't give a damn.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it's all about them, and
right.
he's allowing them to do them.
Right. Right. But the fact that they do them is on them. And they need to be punished for it. And so to say, well, that's the narrative of the president, and so I don't know that we should be doing that. The hell with that. They're endangering our lives. And so what should be the consequences then? We send them home?
But Eric, we cannot say that okay, these people have a culpability because they're coming into this restaurant and doing them, and he has the culpability of opening his restaurant way past the recommended CDC guidelines of capacity, and punish him, a small businessman, while we give a pass to other people in power. No, they all are. It is the same mechanics. It's the same thing. It's the same allowing this virus to spread because of inaction. We cannot divide one from the other.
You're missing my point because you're trying. But you're missing my point because you're trying to creep to your point, right? You're missing my point because you're trying to crowbar your way into a Donald Trump conversation, which I'm not going to allow today, right? The conversation is that people who go into these places have enough goddamn information. So I don't want to lay the burden at anybody else's doorstep but these people, and they should be held accountable. Call or go.
I told you before that Vincent is Trump. No matter what you say, he gonna go right back to what he want to talk about. It don't have nothing to do with the article. Nothing. What are you talking about, Vincent? I just posted the article. Just click through the article. 2-minute read. You can read it while Eric is talking.
So I'm simply saying, Vincent, that if he opens up his place, right, then yes, he should be punished. He should be fined, maybe even locked up, right? If people walk into his place, they should also be, they have broken the law, right? And they should be held accountable. That's all I'm saying, Vincent.
Again, I agree with
you. Okay, then that's it. Done. Then that's it. Then we're done.
Can I say this? Or can I not say this before I even say it?
Go ahead, Vincent.
Okay.
I can't. You can't help yourself.
You can't. Go ahead. Go ahead, Vincent.
Now, if he is held to that standard, and which we all agree upon, should not everyone else be held to that standard?
I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him right now. I'm talking about this article. That's all I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's it. I'm just talking about this article.
You're thinking micro, and I'm expanding it to a macro.
Right. I'm talking about Dominic, and I'm talking about Cuban Pete's in an article that I posted on my page. Right?
And I'm saying that there is no difference in that mechanics and culpability of him and any other leader.
Right, Vincent, but again, Vincent, see, but here's your issue, and it's frustrating to me, right? Because now you want to go down this rabbit hole of, well, because no politician is being held to that standard, then we shouldn't hold Dominic to the standard. See, well, what are you saying, Vincent?
If you would really,
you're saying be consistent. I want to truncate it. You expand this thing, truncate it. You're saying be consistent. There we go. Done. And I'm saying to you, I get that.
Because you do not want to talk about, the culpability of a small businessman, but yet you want to negate the culpability.
No, I don't. But we've talked about him for 4 goddamn weeks. Wait a minute, Vincent. Wait. No, we talked about him for 4 weeks. And now I put an article up about a guy a mile and a half from me, and you want to now turn this conversation to a whole nother conversation about a guy we talked about for 4 weeks.
No.
Yes.
What I want to do is express the same.
But you've already expressed it. And now you express it again. How many more times do you want to express it?
But Eric, is it the simple fact because of your inability to not want to talk about the elephant in the room.
But we've talked about it, Vincent, ad nauseum.
Okay.
How much more time do you want to? Okay, wait, stop. I'll put my watch on. Go ahead and talk about him again, Vincent.
All I have to say is this: the same standard that we hold him to, we should be holding others to.
Okay, done. Now you said it.
That we hold his patrons to is the same standard that we should hold these other people who are going to these events without masks.
Now you said it.
About the Black Lives
And now you keep going.
protesting without a mask.
And now you keep going.
had 2 minutes,
Right,
right?
right. But to Vincent, it's nauseating because because what I'm saying to you is this: I got it, and I think the audience has gotten it. Because every single show, what you want to do is try to get back to Trump, and I'm saying to you, we've talked about that. I'm talking about this guy up the street, has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I'm talking about the fact that this guy continued to defy local, state, and county government and hold super spreader dinners at his event. At his restaurant. That's it.
Agree to that.
That's
I
it.
agree to that.
Right. And
But
here we go again. Go, Vincent. It's like a freaking recording. Go, Vincent.
what I was adding to is that we hold him culpable, and yet we don't hold others. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know what?
We should not be dividing between one to the other. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
But Vincent-
I don't care who it is.
But Vincent, but we've already covered that. We've covered it again and again and again. And what I'm saying is, I'm sorry. And what I'm saying to you is this: we've covered that, right? So I am happy. That they have punished him. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's it.
And you know what? And I am unhappy that nobody holds the president accountable.
Oh, God,
for the
Vincent.
same freaking thing.
Oh God, Vincent.
Oh, no, please let me. Please.
This is just, it's
I keep copy in your mouth because you like that kid that always gotta have the last word. You don't.
It's crazy, Vincent. It's crazy how, like, literally, we're. I
Mental illness.
yeah.
Is what I call it.
I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Now on to and I saw mixed reviews about what's going on in Newark right now, right, with Mayor Baraka, who is about to shut down the economy in Newark, right? And we talked about this a couple days ago. We said there's no plan, right?
Yeah.
There's no plan. There's no balance.
But he
They-
should consider doing if you think Brandon is rising too quickly, then one you have to first do a survey to see where were they infected at. Was it at restaurants? Was it at businesses? Or was it from family members to family member? Like how were these people contracted, for one, before you shut down all these businesses and put people out of work again? And then two, then maybe you should institute for restaurants takeout only. Takeout only.
Right.
Takeout, dine out only.
Here's my issue, Diane. If during this whole thing, I was, let's say, like Farrakhan, right? Farrakhan talked about instituting all of these safe practices, UV lighting, other kinds of things, all of the stuff that he did, right? And so if he did those things, and you can, like you said, contact tracing, testing, all that kind of stuff. So now you're operating from data. You're not operating out of emotion, right? So you're operating from data. And if you can't determine that through contact tracing and all of the other data, that Farrakhan's shop was a part of this, why make him suffer?
Well, I got one worse, because he's saying in this statement that the barbershops, salons have to close down. Not the barbershop salons, but I believe it's barbershop salons too, but also that the spas or the gyms have to close down every hour to clean. So if you're working 8 hours, like how many hours you actually work and the operation is going to be open 4 hours because every other hour you have to shut down to clean for an hour? That's crazy.
Yeah. Caller,
It
go.
doesn't-
I'm sorry. Go ahead, caller.
I just called to laugh. Good morning, Jody.
Good morning, Jody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Diane. So, let the butt chewing begin.
So, all right, so I am a little upset about that because, I haven't seen my baby come Thanksgiving in a year. I haven't been able to visit New Jersey. Could y'all get your shit together in New Jersey, please?
Nah, don't any get cooties up either.
My baby. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand what you can do to keep us all safe so I can visit my baby. And I mean, we're afraid to bring him here because I don't know if he got the cooties, right? Which is crazy. I can't come there because I can't risk coming back with your cooties. I wish that, and I think Ellie is right. There has to be a time and a space where we just make that demand that everyone follows the rules. And if you don't, I honestly, especially when you're talking about business owners, I think there should be bigger penalties. I think that, if you can shoot down a man in the street for having, I just saw this yesterday in Philly, for having a butter knife, and that man should be in jail for exposing all of us to this space where we can't touch our children. I just think that is crazy. Trump, 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 Trump.
Yeah, no, but but we are in a like I'm looking at this, Jody, and it just shows the absolute ineptitude, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so when we say, and when we look at this is why I said a week or so ago, like, can't lay 200 plus thousand deaths over here. I gotta now look at Dominic, right? And I gotta go, wait a minute, what's he accountable for? And where's the anger toward him, right? But everybody points over to this guy, right? And I'm going, no, see, if we were truthful, maybe you'd have more people storming Cuban Pete going, you son of a bitch.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But because we want to, as soon as we start to have that conversation, right, there are people deflecting and going, well, go look over there. Then we never get to focus at all of these different other things and go, well, wait a minute. What did you contribute to that pile of dead bodies? How many are you responsible for? How many are you locally responsible for? And that's where we need to be focused. And if we can focus like that, then I think that we can begin to really curb this thing. But as long as we are deflecting and distracting, going, well, if you're going to be angry there, then be angry here, which kind of says, so since you're not angry there, then don't be angry here, then people are like, well, okay, Dominic did what he did. No, he didn't just do what he did. He put lives at risk.
Absolutely.
End of story. End of story.
Mayor Baraka in Newark is saying is that 25% of the city, which is the East Ward, the coronavirus tests have shot up in comparison to 4.5% for the entire state. So the numbers are increasing. As Monday, he said that all of us have to be disciplined. Quote, I think we have one more shot at this. This is the last leg of it. We have to be disciplined and fight through this thing until a vaccine shows up by sometime next year. He states that private indoor house parties have been a real problem.
There's still people having parties. We've broken up multiple parties in the East Ward with dancing and music, Halloween events were broken up that I've seen personally. Quote, so I know that there are people who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. He states the new restrictions for every non-essential business, including restaurants, have to close their doors by 8 p.m. Outdoor dining can continue until 11 p.m. Salons and barbershops can operate by appointment only. Gyms have to close. Salons, barbershops, and gyms have to clean their equipment for 30 minutes every hour. And how that will remain to be seen. He'll say what will happen, officials will revisit the restrictions on November 10th. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
This is this is bad.
well,
This is bad.
it's Razoraka now being forced to legislate against stupid. And it is bad. It's to the point where to shut down the spread, you have to now, get tough and draconian with some people because of that lack of discipline. It's all about me and selfishness. I want to have a party. I miss a party, and I get it. I miss going out too. But yet I don't want to be infected, nor if I am infected, I don't want to spread it to others. And you know what? I don't want my wife and child going out and bringing it back to me either. If we can just be disciplined enough to get this thing to a manageable level, but we can't have that discipline and take that amount of effort and energy to wait this thing out, to do the right thing and wait this thing out so that we can get to better.
Well,
keep consistently making it worse.
Well, but part of it again is that it because it has all been politicized, right? And so when I say lock them up, right, then folks who are anti-Trump go, well, we can't do that because that's what Trump says we're gonna do, and that's gonna put Democrats at a deficit. So we have to curb that conversation right now, but we got to try to figure out how to deal with these, reckless, murderous people who are contributing to the spread of coronavirus. So how do we walk this tightrope without giving Donald Trump an edge? See, I mean, that's the conversation, right? Instead of just going, you know what? Real simple. All those people over there are a hazard to everybody else, and they need to just frickin' go away. That's it. Done.
True.
Done.
But then there are people who will take that as a political stance, and
I don't care. But that's my point. I don't care right now. I want my grandmother to live another decade if she can. I want my mother to be okay. I want my sister who has underlying conditions to be okay. I want my other sister who's a frontline worker to be okay. I could give a damn, a rat's ass about, well, if we do this, we're giving that politician an edge.
True, and that's the whole thing.
I had to go to my brother-in-law's mother's wake yesterday, like masked down, gloves on. My sister and my great niece, they had the freaking shields up there, and I'm going, I want to be done with this.
At least you were fortunate. I had to go to some relatives who died, and we had to see them on Zoom. And that's what we have to deal with.
Well, right, because we want to continue to play politics, right? Instead of just saying, you know what? You throw a party, you're going to jail. You throw whatever, you contribute, right? Here are the ways that you're contributing to the death of other people, right? And so when you do that, right, you are a co-conspirator, right? And now this is the punishment for that. Done. End of story. Done. That's my position on this at this point. We have to begin to have a zero tolerance for this.
I agree.
And I don't even know how you do this, and maybe this is just too radical. I don't know. But it's like yelling bomb in a freaking movie theater, right? So the anti-mask wearers and the conspiracy theorists who are saying don't take, vaccines, don't do all this stuff, and we're watching all of this go on, and these people are being paid to go and travel to social media circuit and all that kind of stuff. There's got to be a way to deal with them too, and I'm not sure how to do it, but there has to be some, and I'm understanding the First Amendment. I'm understanding all these other things, but we've got to. Well, maybe just some people get them and take them into a dark alley and with a 2x4 with some rusty nails in them. I don't know. I
think, Eric, people are not going to get it until they really start setting up areas of confinement for people and removing them from their homes if they're sick, and saying, well, if you come to the hospital and you check in here, we're going to now relocate you to this facility and put them out on like Ellis Island or something like that. That's when people are going to start to understand, when they've been isolated from everyone else, how really serious this is. Because it's apparent that the isolation in the hospitals is not enough. When people were saying their family members were dying, they couldn't sit by them, all of these things, that wasn't enough, because they worked past that phase.
You know what, Diane? Bam! Here we go. You can quarantine people. Right? So we should have draconian quarantine methods established, right? That's absolutely correct, Diane. What was the movie with Will Smith? I Am Legend, right? Some stuff like that, right? Where you literally are helicoptering people the F up out of here. And you dropping them on some remote place, and they got to be there for 14 goddamn days. Right? We can't keep making things comfortable for people who are hell bent on making our lives miserable. And I think that's how we have to look at it. Like, I'm not going to make it comfortable for you. And I'm going to be in support of anybody who's not going to make it comfortable for you. Because you're hell bent on making my life miserable.
That's right. I agree. We should make it as uncomfortable for them as they're making it for the rest of the world.
I mean, they literally are holding civilized people captive, holding us hostage with their ignorance and their absolute disregard for sensibility and life.
Yes. And I'm not even going to lead into my next point. I'm going to exercise some discipline.
But you're still going to.
I just, and then God help these businesses, these business owners, who just want, lawmakers with a spine to step up and deal with this.
Yes. The intestinal fortitude of people who actually have to make the hard decisions and make sure that everybody carries it out. Because it's just like when my parents forced me to eat spinach. It's the same thing. It has to be done, and it's good for the population. It is good for everybody. We have to take measures now to control this, to contain it. And it's not, and we can't sit up here and wait on the government to do it. A majority of it is just simple common sense. But we can't get past our own wants and selfish desires to see, what we're causing. Because it's all about me. Okay, great. Everybody's going out there for a great meal and a great time. But not dealing with the consequences of this may be your last meal. If you have any conditions in which this virus will spread upon you and your family rapidly or cause an adverse effect, this may be your last meal. Did I ever get that some freaking consideration? Or, hey, wait a minute, maybe somebody in this restaurant, and I came back and spread it to my grandmother,
Yeah.
or my mother and father, or my children.
Yo.
No, it's all about me, and we have to get past that.
I want to stay on Newark for a second. And we didn't talk about this. This Zoom meeting that took place, right? So I want to show you what punk ass elected officials you have. Absolute punk ass elected officials. First, well, two things. The Zoom meeting, one, and I'm gonna lay that out, but also Joe McCollum, right? So your punk ass elected officials in Newark have not said a word about Joe McCollum, right? They're all silent on that. But they want to be leaders, right? They put out these glossy mailers every election cycle and tell you how they're going to do this and fight for the community and do that and do the other thing. But you got a guy who they know, right, has been shafting the community by shaking down developers, right? And here's an opportunity for them to step up and say something. But they won't, right? But then there's...
Discussion? Fear? What? Why won't they?
Well, all of that, right? And the fact that some of them have their hands dirty too. So they're trying not to poke the bear, right? So you come out and you start talking about Joe. Joe all of a sudden talks about the time you were at the cigar bar with that developer and what deal you shook them down for, right? So there's a whole lot of shaking going on. Isn't that a song?
Yes, it is.
Right, there we go.
Mama, a whole lot of shaking going
A
on.
whole lot of shaking going on. And so, but then, as I was contemplating what punk asses they are, all of them, there was a Zoom meeting that took place, and it was a hot mic. And somebody who's been identified as Pat Council, right, has some derogatory, disparaging things to say about the North Ward, right? Woo, the North Ward, right? Don't you say anything about the North Ward. But he did. And then when folks were asking, who was it? Nobody said anything. But they all knew. But they were afraid to say anything. So what they did was circle the wagons around themselves to figure out how they were going to best do damage control, right? And then they realized, because this thing was out there in the public, that they had to say something. But again, what it shows you is the weak, spineless, punk-ass elected officials you have. And you keep voting for them over and over and over again. And you wonder why the city is in the condition that it's in. These two things, if nothing, I mean, we go through the litany of other things that have occurred, including how the mayor is now going to cripple the local economy. When is enough going to be enough for you, folks in Newark?
Okay, Eric, I have a question, right?
Yeah.
Why did you say how the mayor's going to cripple the economy? You don't think the moves he's making are correct for what's happening?
No. So what I'm saying is this, Jody. I'm saying, so you can't do one without. So my question is this: what's the fallout of this in terms of the local businesses, right? And then what is the plan, right, to help them? So I'm not saying that. See, what I'm saying is he lacks the acumen to think broader about this, right? So he's reactionary to something that's happening. And so, yeah, you may need to do some of these things. But what's the repercussion? Right? And then how do you deal with that? And what I'm saying is that he hasn't thought that way. He hasn't thought through that. And so remember when I said to you before that you got the science and then you got the economy, right? So you got to follow the science, but you got to balance it with the economists who say, well, okay, you got because your measures could actually be more harmful, right, than the virus. So you've got to, at least short term. So you've got to figure out how. And so when you don't have a BA, when you don't elect the people or appoint the people around you who are smart enough to sit and figure this thing out, and I know he hasn't, right? They're stumbling and bumbling, trying to figure this thing out as they go. And that's why I say he's going to cripple the economy. That's why. So should these stores be should measures be put in place to slow the spread? Absolutely. Right? But I would ask the question, what level of contact tracing has been done? Like Diane said earlier, what data are we using to determine where these hotspots are?
Oh, okay.
Right? And are we just throwing a whole blanket over this thing? So what Diane read was that a lot of this is coming out of the East Ward, right? So my question is, are you dealing with the businesses in the East Ward differently than you're dealing with the businesses in the West Ward? Right? Do you have, and I don't know that you could really do this within a city, right? But I don't claim to have the acumen to figure, because I haven't appointed people and all that kind of stuff, and I don't have the inside information that he has. But can you at least contact trace enough to see the travel patterns of folks throughout the city, right?
Absolutely.
To
I
see.
think how he could do it. He could use the restaurant's credit card receipts to go back to see where the addresses are registered to and directly contact them. So he could do that.
But what I'm saying, Jody, is if you are a small business owner in the West Ward and you have the fewest number of cases in the West Ward and you have an explosion going on in the East Ward, I'd be advocating for you not to be closed. I'm saying Jody's doing something right. People in the West Ward are doing something right. People in the East Ward are not. But when you say citywide, we're going to do this, I'm going, you haven't looked at data. That's what I'm saying, Jody. So I'm concerned about that. That's my fear, my concern, that he hasn't done that. And here's a mayor who also loves to be on the news. He loves to have cameras shoved in his face and the microphone shoved in his face, right? There are rumors that he has aspirations larger than being mayor of the city of Newark, and so his PR people telling him this is a good look for him and all that kind of stuff, and it's just sickening. Sickening, and these businesses, they're gonna hurt, and there's no relief. You're gonna have, it can potentially wind up looking like the aftermath of the 67, 68 uprising in terms of shuttered businesses in the city of Newark, never to reopen.
Same situation that they did for the Spanish virus or the Spanish flu. Absolute shutdown and people distancing.
But if I were these small businesses, I'd literally be storming City Hall right now, saying, "Give me the data that you're using as a determinant for your next move. I want to see what you're looking at that says everything's got to shut down to this time frame." I need to.
Okay, so I'm confused. I'm going to ask some questions, all right? And only because I'm just confused now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So didn't the lack thereof open up a space for Cuban Pete to do that? Didn't, all right, because when I say confused, I'm so confused. Okay. So, is it with Baraka and trust me, full disclosure, he can't do nothing right in my book but resign a long time ago when he spoke to dirty waters to the children in North. So this is by no means an assistance to the mayor. I'm just trying to understand where you are, in general, right?
Yeah.
So if Baraka doesn't do or take some hold of the situation, right, isn't that what allows for that kind of lack of movement for
leadership
policy help someone like Cuban Pete to do what they did?
No,
To
this
allow those women to
no,
happen?
no. So different, right? So what I would say to you is this, Jody. If so let's look city to city, right? So East Orange isn't just because Newark has a spike. Hillside, which borders Newark, they're not shutting down, right? East Orange that borders Newark, they're not shutting down. Irvington, which borders Newark, they're not shutting down, right? So my question is because there's science that suggests that they don't need to, right? So my thing is Newark is comprised of 5 wards. Do all 5 wards need to shut down? Maybe 1, maybe 3.
Okay, here's the problem.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. No, I'm listening to what what did you say, Jody?
No, I said I got you. I didn't understand it. I was just trying to understand.
Yeah. So, and then maybe all of them do, right? I don't know. I'm simply saying I don't believe, based on everything that I know about this administration, I don't believe that they have people there who have the acumen, right, to discern through the data to figure that out. And so they were reactionary and they said, there's a spike, we're shutting everything down.
I just what I want to believe is that he is operating from a good space. That and the last reports is that in New York and New Jersey, the virus is on a rise, and nationally we're hitting records that have not been hit since the virus started. And we have seen so much ineffective and no leadership that I'm going to say that he's operating from a good space to take leadership. And in saying that, if he's operating from a good space, that he has information from the scientists that are giving him hotspots. And he's saying that, looking at the same principle, when the state started to shut down, that they had to agree with other states, because it does not make sense to shut down bars in New York when people can drive to Connecticut and spread and still increase the spread. So I'm hoping that he's operating from a good space and not political grandstanding or posturing for other positions. That he's looking at the safety of the city, who had elected him to be their leader, and look for him for guidelines and for safety.
Yeah.
And any effort right now to reduce the upcoming increase is well needed.
Right.
We're
So
coming down
so we don't have to, but we don't have to hope, right? We could simply say to him, tell us how you're operating. Give us the information. Give us the data. So I don't want to hope. We don't have time for hope, right?
Okay.
You literally have these businesses teetering on the edge of collapsing. And so, and I'm not, look, he may be operating properly. I'm simply saying, like Ross Perot said, measure twice, cut once. So show me what you're doing, Mr. Mayor. Show me. I don't want to hope. Just show it. Say, hey, look, this is why, this is where it is. This is the contact tracing data that we're using. These are the hotspots. Here's how we're moving around. Here's what. Now, that's all I'm asking for. And then what I'm saying is I don't believe that data exists. Huh?
What if another plan is not an unreasonable plan?
Right. That's what I'm asking for. And I just have a history with this administration, right, that suggests that they don't function with a plan. And that is my concern. They shoot from the hip.
Well, we know that people, follow your show, so pretty soon they'll be coming up with something.
So that's all I'm saying, Jody. I'm not, yeah, we need to deal with this virus, right? But I don't want to drop an atomic bomb
Right.
when all we might need to do is do this thing over here. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah,
I just like to understand a
Yeah,
little better.
yeah.
Well, since he's listening, also listening to the plan because to delay, stall, or remove some of these upcoming and pending evictions would be nice too.
Yeah.
And, maybe you could petition for some federal funding to help these landlords because
Wait
the banknotes aren't disappearing.
Petition for what for the rent to happen?
I said,
Oh.
Keep your device number.
Everybody got disconnected. Please call back. To Vincent. Okay, here, Diane. I'm going to need Vincent to call back so he can repeat what he said. I was trying to take a call in. Hold on. And then Jody will call back at some point, too. Go ahead, Vincent. Please say what you're going to say. Yeah, I'm dealing with, okay, I got you on now. Go ahead.
okay, the question, I think she wanted me to repeat what I was saying, and
What do you want to do? What do you want Rasborough to do in regards to the rent?
one is to see if he would be nice to see if he's got some plans to stall, hold, or with these upcoming evictions, and two, maybe he can incorporate something like soliciting some federal funding to give to these landlords because these banknotes aren't stopping because of the virus.
Yeah.
Well, for one, I don't know why he would do any of that because he still hasn't solved the lead in the water. Two, he's never ever getting federal money after he talked crap to Trump and told him that he wouldn't allow him to land at the Newark airport. So until the next president, if it's not Trump in, is the only way that he may get some help. So that's just...
Yeah.
And three, I don't know who is going to help the landlords and property owners except for the courts who are going to evict people. So if you want something changed, they need to be working with the court.
Yeah. Does he have some level of influence where that can be helped?
Some states, and who knows how deep in our codes the city of Newark is, but in some states, they can literally put you in jail for unpaid rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Eric, hey, this is Will from Orange, man. Hey, Vincent, how you doing?
Will.
Hey, Diane, how you doing today? I'm calling, I just got in the house, and I'm watching this show, okay? We're talking about the city of Newark, okay? But I can tell you myself, Eric, I'm involved in the football program in Orange, and on Friday night, we had no fans at our game. So, that's in South Orange and Maplewood.
Well, so here's my thing. I don't even know why they have games. Like,
The bottom line, listen. We've been through this since March, okay? So there's no need to understand people not to do protocols about wearing a mask, washing their hands, don't touch your face. It's like we're acting like little children now, okay? So I agree. I kind of agree with the mayor of Newark, okay? Okay, not because I'm a Democrat and I live here in Essex County. Okay, I agree with the mayor of Newark because apparently I went into a store in Newark, okay, and the owners of the stores wasn't wearing no mask, and I reported them.
right.
Okay, so we have to be understandable. I understand the economic impact of these businesses, but, for order to close parks down again or suspend programs, I think people are not listening.
But
I
no,
mean, you're not
Vince,
listening
no,
because
but
you're
but
trying
but
to keep
Will,
the public
but
safe.
Will, I'm saying
Like
that
the
I'm
mayor
s-
of
but
Orange, the
Will,
mayor of East Orange is trying to do the same thing.
Will, I'm saying that store owner needs to be fined, right, and
Oh,
shut down,
exactly.
padlocked, right. I'm saying that people who come into those stores, right, they are breaking the law. It should be a law to wear a mask, right, and they are breaking the law.
No. I disagree with that, Eric, in a way. It shouldn't be a law to wear a mask. You should be, if you're an adult and you know this virus is affecting everybody, you should just wear the mask.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Because I had
If
an
you
incident
are,
in Orange.
but see, it
I
goes,
went to a
but
store
Will,
right
it
around,
goes beyond you just wear. But
went
Will,
right around the corner,
Will,
and a young lady came in the store and she wasn't wearing no mask.
Will, it goes beyond
Yes.
you just wearing a mask, right? See, we have
Oh,
to.
I understand that.
No.
I agree with you.
No, but listen to what I'm saying first, and then you can agree with
Yes.
me,
Okay.
right? See, wearing a mask, if I just said wear a mask, it could be a fashion statement, right? Or it could be a political statement. I'm saying protect me. See, different, right? Protect me. Protect my children. Protect my grandmother and my mother. And when you don't, when you put us at our lives at risk, it goes beyond you just wearing a mask. And so now I say, you are a threat, right? You're walking around and you're a threat. And so it should be a law, right, against you threatening me, threatening my grandmother, threatening my mother, threatening, you know, all of these folks.
You're life.
Right.
You're life and you're
Right. So now make that a law. And then that's right. And so now if you break that law and you threaten me or you threaten other people, then you should be fined, arrested, taken by a helicopter and dropped on some remote island somewhere. Something should happen. But here's the question I want to ask you, Will. You mentioned football games. So when we're talking about you going into a store and you reporting people because they don't have a mask on, right?
Okay.
All these football players, right? They're in these huddles and they're tackling each other, right? And they're not wearing masks. Why?
First of all, I want to let you guys know. Okay. You're required while they're at practice to wear the mask when they're not playing. So the governor came up with that, okay? So, the onus is on the governor.
No, I think that, no. See, but here's where, again, I say, no.
With Rob Baraka and Nork and what he's doing. I mean, it's a two-week,
The onus isn't on the governor.
Say that we don't know what the scientists are saying.
Right.
We
So
don't even know what the figures are and the numbers are.
So the governor,
What are the numbers?
yeah. So the
What are the
gov.
real numbers?
So the governor, I think, is an ass, right? For sure. But I think that these parents are irresponsible, right? There's no way I would be having my kid on a goddamn football field where all of those other students breathing on each other, tackling each other in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. I don't need a governor to tell me.
So basically, you want everybody to stay in the house.
No. But Will, but what I'm saying is this. How do we have the conversation about social distancing? How do we at the conclusion of this show every day say wear your mask? Right? But meanwhile, we're going to go send our kids off to football practice where no mask, no social distancing occurs. Right? I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now,
you know what I understand is that we've been through this since March. We didn't know what the hell was going on. Excuse my language. We didn't know what was going on because 45 decided to come out and say there's a whole.
I don't want to get on. No, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Listen, listen, these parents sitting there. Listen, Will, these parents who are in orange.
People going to it because you said 45.
Will, these parents in orange. These parents.
Saying Niagara Falls to the Three Stooges.
These parents in orange.
So what I'm saying is, though, Eric, I'll let
let you speak, man. Go ahead. It's
The,
your show.
these parents who are in Orange, New Jersey,
Okay,
right?
we're not just singling out urban teams.
But these
all the way
parents,
around the area.
well, but you said you, but I'm using Orange because you said you were
Oh,
at a
I
football
understand.
game, right?
I
That's
got
the reason
you.
I'm doing that.
Yes.
But these parents who are in Orange, New Jersey, who are allowing their children in the middle of a pandemic, right? So you understand this. Most of those parents are wearing masks, right? They go to work, they wear masks. They're required to. They go into a store, they got to put a mask on, right? They go wherever they go, they see the signs that say social distance. They see all of this.
Yep.
And these are the same parents who are allowing their children to go and be on football teams. And then you went, wait a minute, wait.
Just protocol.
Wait, but then
When
you
come to practice, when you come to practice, you get your temperature check. So you can't even come into the facility until you get your until a temperature check.
Will, but you, wait a minute. But Will,
If they asymptomatic, temperature check has no effect.
that's absolutely correct. That's absolutely
I'm not a
correct.
doctor. I couldn't tell you.
But
Call
then
a
you're
go.
looking at children now. Children now are uprising 18%, and children are being linked to being one of the biggest spreaders because the majority of them are asymptomatic.
So,
Yeah.
so listen. So you're my friend, right? Okay.
Oh, you leaning on friendship now, huh?
Do we really know? Do Diane, Vincent, and Eric? Do we have statistics that when Governor Murphy gets on his chatterbox every 3 times a week, and he shows us the figures and his stats and all that? Do we really know that numbers are up?
Yes.
Do we really know? But how do we know?
Because the state of New Jersey website, and by the way, I do like Murphy.
I haven't got a chance to check that out yet.
But they have a whole clip for COVID-19 information.
Okay, I bet
It gives
they do.
real-time update. Yes.
Okay.
I check it every day.
All right, we got another caller. Call a go.
So basically, I kind of agree with the mayor of Newark, okay?
Okay.
Because he's just looking out for the people of Newark, and that's his job, his responsibility, and that's why he was elected mayor to the city. I do agree with them. I don't live in Newark. I pray and hope that the numbers come down in Newark and everybody gets safe and continues to wear their masks and wash their hands. And that's how you promote it. But my understanding is, though, you're an adult, okay? You're supposed to take responsibility for yourself. You know what I mean? Right. You're supposed to take responsibility for yourself. How do we do that? How do we do that?
Right.
Police ourselves.
Well, but you know what?
We don't.
Wait, we got another call.
Taking responsibility and being
Vince,
selfish children.
yeah, we got another call. We have another call.
We
Call.
have to take some type of responsibility. He's not saying the businesses. I'm not a business owner. I don't live in Newark.
Yeah.
I periodically visit Newark throughout the basketball season. I haven't been there in 6 months.
Got it. No, Vincent, I want to take the other caller. So let him finish, and I want to take the other caller.
Will, hold on. We got another caller. Hold on just a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Caller, go.
So Will agrees with the mayor of Newark. So Will is on the football field with children. I don't understand, right? Because if we think
I agree with him because it's a sensible thing to do when you have residents of the city of Newark walking around without masks. That's a sensible thing. We've been through this for 6 months, and I agree with them. I don't live in the city of Newark. I pray for the people of Newark, but I kind of agree with them because it really makes sense. We've been doing this pandemic for 6.5 months, and nobody wants to go through this. We have millions of people dying in the state of New Jersey, and I kind of agree. I don't agree with 45 sometimes, but I'm saying
Well, firstly, I don't know that we have millions of people. No, wait a minute. We don't. But no.
We start and continue to wear their mask until a regional vaccine is approachable.
But first, I would say I don't think that the number has reached millions of people died yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah. So let's
really know who
let's
did.
clear that up
We don't know
first.
200,000 people. Okay, fine. Where's the statistics for that? Isn't it the case that I had a friend of mine that works at St. Barnabas Medical Center? Well, he told me, he said the people died in St. Barnabas Medical Center is already had the chronic condition. And I pray and hope that we get out of this pandemic. But those safety precautions this March, wash your hands, like Vincent was only at the end of the show promoting safety, wash your hands, social distancing. That has to be done. Okay?
Except on the football field.
If I was a mayor of any city, I would take the same measures that
Yeah.
Ronald Barack is doing in North.
Except on the football
So,
field.
Will, can I get this out
Wait,
I love you too. I want you
let
to
Jody
down the
Will. Let Jody speak. Thank you.
Okay, I'll let her speak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So all I was saying is, I didn't say I disagree with the mayor. What I'm saying is, I don't understand how you understand what he's doing, but you have those children on a football field in a city that's not even 3 miles away from the border of North.
So it's all
Let her
for the
finish.
state, the governor of Jersey
Will.
Will.
Okay, I'm gonna have to mute you, Will.
All right, I will.
All right.
Because what eventually happens, the reason why we just can't get out of this is because there is a kid on that football field who has a family member in North. And then they visit that family member and then Orange is back in it. And then East Orange is back in it. Now, all I'm saying to you is that when you said, so what are we supposed to do to Eric? You said we've been in here for 6 months. Well, we're only in here for 6 months because you got those kids on the basketball field. And because you can go into a sport north and they don't have on that. Because you can do this and that. Like, it is this trickle down effect. It is kids. I think it's good, but it's Donald Trump. It's individually in our community. We shut it down. Not because we want to have a political moment, but we care about our children and our elders. And if we do that individually and just shut it down, if we had done that 6 months ago, well, we wouldn't be having these conversations. We would be out of this. That is the only way to get past there. So when you said to Eric, well, what are we supposed to do? We've been in the house for 6 months. We've only been in the house for 6 months because you got those damn kids on the football field. Those children, that's what children are for doing. Our children will forget about this. Or not even forget about it. They will recover from the lock-in much better than we will. When you're hearing things about people going crazy in COVID, they're not talking about children. They're talking about us because they seem to be very selfish and think everything has to be good all the time. Well, we're going to break out the windows and do that. That is all I wanted to say, and I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. But yeah, I'm saying you're doing something wrong. You being on the field with children, you walking up and person and that, right? So what if that person had COVID and then you go on the field and then you give it to a kid? It's just that simplistic. It's just that easy to transfer. So all I'm saying is, listen, we all have to clamp down. Just because you are 5 miles from north doesn't mean you get to, like, play with it a little bit. Because you're really just a mile from north in the sense of a pandemic that's raging through a community, that's killing people, and that we cannot seem to recover from. That's it.
All right. We're at 12 o'clock. So
I'm gonna let you guys go. And I'm glad I got an opportunity to call Eric today. Because I haven't called the show in a while. But I pray for the people of all Essex County, all the United States. I just want you guys to wash your hands, get your mask on, and let's pray for everything to get better before it gets even worse.
We'll let
And I'll let you guys go. Peace out, Eric. Okay, my friend. Diane and Vincent, have a good day.
You too. Good hearing from you, Will.
We'll
Don't
let
be a stranger.
Don't be rough on Eric, man.
we'll let Will's words of safety be the last words, guys. Have a great day. The sun is coming out, so enjoy
All right,
it.
man, I'll talk to you soon, Eric.
All right.
Be safe out there, man.
You all.